Alright, everyone, thank you for tuning in to the show. We've got a really funny episode today with Roger Gunn, a bouncer and comedian. But before we start, if you're about Glasgow and you're free this Sunday, come down to the Rum Bongo on Byers Road in the West End for the Fresh Meat comedy open mic. I'll be doing a spot, so will our pal Tony. It's hosted by Ray Coley. And yeah, follow us on social media. I'm at Fudgie Comedy on Instagram. Chris is at Christmas at Christopher Mitchell Lee, and Roger's at Roger Gunn Comedy. So yeah, without further ado, Mr. Roger
Roger Gunn.
How are we doing, guys?
Hola. Hello. How are you?
I'm good, man. Happy to be here. How are you guys doing?
Great. Absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you for coming back and doing your first episode all over again, because we were like infantly baby teething. But now we're getting the hang of things.
There's a lot of things said by the hosts that we just couldn't possibly put in the first one. I thought it was out of order, so I was like, guys, so you don't get cancelled, we're going to redo this one. So
He's fucking lying again. He's doing it again. You can't trust a guy with a face tattoo. We figured that out.
It was terrible, honestly. They were making up their own new slurs. It was something.
It's called be creative.
Exactly. It was just a writing exercise. It's for the betterment of mankind.
Did y'all need white hoods the whole time? I felt that was... Yeah.
Well,
Well,
the
the clock
pillowcase
got
he's
This has started exactly how I was hoping it would start. There's going to be a lot of cuts to this podcast tonight.
No, not a single one.
No.
Is that where the camera is? So I can do that Jim from The Office moment every time that Chris says something horribly racist.
Not again, Chris.
Not again.
Anyway.
Anyway, so you, fuck me, right? Anyway,
fuck me.
aye,
Yes.
big fuck me.
That's what they call me.
I keep having these.
The
big
big,
fuck me.
the big fuck me, man.
So obviously you're a stand-up comedian. How long have you been doing it again?
About a year and a half probably.
About a year and a half. And just to keep keep it relative to what just happened there, do you have this often, like just random, like last night, my third open mic, fourth gig,
Mm-hmm.
I got one joke, two joke in, completely forgot where I was going. I felt like 30 seconds, must have only been like 5.
Oh yeah.
Like, didn't know where my next line was. And I'm sure it was anxiety. Thankfully, my next line was, "It's just anxiety." So I played
so
on
it
for
worked
that.
out quite
It
well.
worked out well, but does that still happen to you a year in?
Yeah, to an extent. I think the way my mind kind of works is I always panic right before a gig, and as long as I've got my first 2 jokes kind of ready, my mind will kind of go into auto mode. So sometimes I'll be telling jokes and the whole mind I'll be going, what's the next line? But just you naturally do. But yeah, did you recover okay from it?
I feel like I did. Then obviously started having the feedback from the from the mic, and then I had to adjust. But I feel like it was my like second strongest set so far. It was definitely a lot better than last week at the same place. The crowd were a lot better.
Good.
On Bongo, we're fucking killing it. Come up there on Sunday, unless you're doing something Sunday.
No, I'm going to be popping along.
Yes, I'm not there. I'm at the Ivory.
Big Chris is there.
I'm at the Ivory
Goddamn
doing
right.
Mackie's. I'm doing Mackie's comedy at the Ivory on.
Oh, I've heard that's good. Graham Mackey, yeah.
yeah.
Lovely guy.
Graham Mackey is lovely, but Graham Mackey actually did the worst bombing I've ever had was at a show with Graham Mackey, and it wasn't his fault, but I didn't know who he was, which kind of tripped me up.
Mm-hmm.
So I did.
No.
Do you know what a gong show is?
I've
I've
heard
heard
of
of
it. You get gonged off.
Yeah, so it's kind of like Britain's Got Talent thing, where but they give 3 random people in the audience cards, and they hold them up, and if you shit, so 3 cards go up, you're off, okay? And you get 2 minutes of grace period. So you go up, you do 2 minutes, and then someone at the back with a microphone go, 2 minutes. And then you keep going, and then if one card goes up 30 seconds later, they'll just go one card up. And then if it gets all the 3 cards, you go off.
Oh god.
And the way you get through is by doing the whole 5 minutes.
Right.
Now, I had never done one of these before, so this was December last year. It was in a place in Renfrew, and I hadn't been to Renfrew before, and I was asking the girls at work, a couple of them were from it, and I was like, can you tell me some rough bars around there so I can make a couple of jokes about it? And they told me some, and then they went, where is it? And I went, a place called the Burns House. And they went, the Burns House? The fucking Burns House. You can't make jokes in Renfrew about bars being rough because of how rough the Burns House is.
You're at the pits.
Yeah, so I was like, this will be fucking great. I go in, alright, there's about 50 people there, it's a good turnout, alright. Everyone looked like a character from EastEnders. The average is about 50 or 60, alright. They all looked like fucking, like the Mitchell brothers and Dot.
Amazing.
You know that thing, like when people like smoke a cigarette and then they light the next cigarette with that one?
Yeah.
They looked like they'd all never stopped smoking since doing that. They all just like kind of like dogs about to get put down. I'm never doing the Burns House again, I feel, so we shall understand, so fuck it.
And fuck you.
Yeah. No, the Burns House is apparently, it's a class place to do it.
Don't
but they
backpedal,
didn't.
man. Don't
Well,
backpedal.
no, that's the thing is, because you'll hear the story and it's my fault. The audience that night sucked, but... So what happened was, alright, so people are going up, alright, and people are doing okay, so, and then at one point, the host comes up and goes, you guys aren't being rough enough, so they change who have the cards.
Right, okay.
So I think I'm up like 13th. So number 10 goes up, guy I know. I'm not going to name anyone else in this, but fucking kills it, fantastic, alright. Next guy goes up, absolutely smashes it, alright. So there's one guy before me who is Graham Mackey, and I don't know who Graham is. So I look at the thing and go, Graham Mackey, don't know who he is. I hope he's shit, because I don't want to follow the next 3 good people.
God damn it.
All you hear behind me is, ho, ho, ho. And
Yes, you did.
Graham comes out. Graham's an older gentleman with a big white beard, and he's dressed as Santa Claus. It's December, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's going mental and cheering for him.
Bad Santa. He's
All
in the
right,
house,
yeah,
man.
yeah. So he's killing it. He flies through the whole thing. He's absolutely hilarious. Graham is such a good fucking comedian.
Yep.
And he comes off stage, and the tune's so loud I have to say my name twice because I don't hear it.
Good.
So
Some of the first you can shoot gun,
Yeah.
so it goes over.
no one would have batted an eyelid in the Burns half if someone had a gun, let's be honest.
As expected, continue.
Yeah. So the thing is, alright, if it turns out Graham is like been doing this for over a decade, alright, he's a great comedian, he's very well respected, he's a regular there, everyone loves him. He actually used to be, I think he was a woodwork teacher,
Yeah.
and some people were his students, alright,
Oh.
and also, see if you won this thing, you got 50 quid.
Oh, nice.
And
Alright.
he had told everyone beforehand that if he won, he was going to give the money to charity. Nobody told me any of this. So I went up and I was like, I need to break the tension a bit. So one of the comedians beforehand had done a joke about a cloning machine with a nonce sitting on it. Right?
Good.
So I went up and the first thing I said was I went up and went, fucking hell, someone's made Santa and Pete's paedophile cloning machine, right? Silence. Cunts were raging. Particularly with my fucking Chukter accent and all my teeth.
It's just like, what the fuck
I
are
look
you
like
saying?
the biggest Tory ever, alright? So I get up, alright? And so it bombs, alright? So I'm doing my jokes, alright? Stone face. I'm trying to do my stuff about
Yeah.
being fucking like high in Subway, McDonald's. Everything's bombing and bombing. And I've got one really good joke. Just one. That's it. I probably tried to time it right before the 2 minutes were up because someone said, see if you can get that joke at the 2 minute mark, you'll do fine. And it literally went like this. It went, so I was telling my jokes and this is the speed it went. It just went, that's 2 minutes. That's 1 card. That's 2 cards. 3 cards you're off.
Oh my god.
I walk off to silence. People are looking away from me like my paedophile reading court. People I am friends with. No one wants to be tarnished with knowing me. I step outside. I've been off the fags for years. I immediately smoke 8 cigarettes. Right? But I can't leave because my lift wants to see the rest of the show.
Oh,
So I
selfish motherfucker.
So I just stand outside, chain smoking. Just everyone's like, fucking hell, I'm like, give me a fucking cigarette, shut the fuck up.
I'm coping.
Right? So I wait, alright, about 45 minutes, I go in and the show's near the end. So the way it works at these things is, or this night, is they'd have the 5 people up, alright, so let's say it was you guys. So they go, let's hear it for Fudgie, and everyone go, way, and they go, let's hear it for Chris, and go, way, and the Fudgie got less cheers, he would sit down and they'd do that with everyone that went through. Like 6 people got through out of 21, I think it was.
Cool.
So that goes down, alright? And it gets down to Graham and one of the other comedians, alright? And it's been an hour since I've been on. I want to be clear, right? Everyone's forgot about what I did. Apart from me. And one other person. So they're doing the cheer off, it's really close. It's a really nice atmosphere. And for some fucking reason, a TikTok comedian who was performing that night, who was not on the stage at this point, he had been voted off, who had actually gone up to him and said, "Oh mate, I really like your stuff." He was like, "Oh, thanks very much, man." He got back on the stage, grabbed the microphone and just went, "I just want to say, I thought it was fucking out of order, that guy calling Graham a paedophile."
What the fuck?
And there's just a silence and then just angry murmuring. And 3 big blokes get up, look round, turn, look at me, start coming towards me. I have to go hide behind a car outside. And my lift has to go, drive round and get me.
It's awful.
It's been
That's the
almost
worst.
a year and people have still come up to me and goes, "Mate, I was at the Burn South."
That's good.
I've never seen someone do so badly they were almost assaulted by the crowd.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh man, I feel for you so badly.
That's the thing is, if I bomb fucking spectacularly.
Yeah.
I'm the king of absolutely fucking it up for myself.
And as long as you own it.
Exactly. There's no point in, if you're going to do it, you may as well do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
spectacular! Yeah,
Enjoy it.
I've seen Graham since I performed with him in Paisley, and he's such a nice guy. But I changed my haircut at that point, and he didn't recognise me, and thank fuck for that.
You're able to make like a fresh friendship with him.
Yeah. I don't think he fucking minded, but the audience were like, "Who's this fucking Tory-looking bastard
man.
with all his teeth?"
And you went out that night and got all the face tattoos at that point.
Yeah, I actually had none before that.
I need to
yeah.
assimilate and deal with some emotions.
Yeah, got a fake tan, grew a beard, shaved it off, just the whole fucking
Got a job,
shebang.
lost it, just
Yeah.
just to fit in, man.
That's so funny. How long ago was that? No.
That was December last year, so almost a year ago now actually.
So was that one of like your first shows?
I think that was maybe my 15th or so.
15.
But the thing is, you need the bad shows sometimes because
Yeah.
then when you have a good show it feels so fucking good in comparison.
Yeah, I can
And-
see that.
Yeah, I think it's almost good to bomb early on when you're doing stuff. Obviously not on purpose, but
Yeah.
because you don't want to bomb FIFA. You never want to bomb, but see if you do relatively early on, you do kind of get used to it.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then it gets you really good at handling maybe quieter crowds, things like that. I've done some afternoon shows and a lot of my stuff's not really blue humour, but
Yeah.
kind of. And you get used to kind of quieter crowds and that. See, I'm doing stuff about people getting stabbed in McDonald's to like a 2:00 in the afternoon fringe show. It's a bunch of Danish and Finnish people just going, "I do not know what the man is saying.
But I'm offended.
I thought this was Post Malone. I don't
What does he not sing?
But yeah, you guys haven't had any bombing ones yet. You guys are good
That's
comedians.
100% success rate on our front.
Yeah,
Well,
nice, man. That's
so
good.
far. I'm never going to do another show. Fuck that.
Do we count do we count the when we were doing it in Blackfriars like just to each other,
Oh, because that.
like to the course? Because I bombed hard.
I was-
Not hard, but I bombed. I got a solid groan in the nose.
You bombed in front of sympathetic comedians, bro.
I don't know if they were that.
That doesn't
sympathetic.
exist. Sympathetic
I don't
comedians do not exist.
I don't think they were sympathetic. They don't.
Oh, they certainly were
No.
not sympathetic.
No, in all fairness, it was like a comedy course. Everyone's thinking about it. Have you spoken about the ultra thing before? Yeah.
We kind of touched on it on the episode we did yesterday.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Chatted about it like.
Yeah, so great. Chris and Fudgie did the same thing as me like a year later, where it's a comedy course run by Viv G.
Yeah. Big up.
Where you get 8 weeks of is it 8 weeks?
Yeah,
Of free
8 weeks.
training, and then you do your first stand-up gig, and it's all for charity, and it's
Yes.
really nice. But it was one of these things where because you rehearse in front of each other, after a wee while everyone's heard your jokes like 4 or 5 times, and it does get demoralising.
Oh, it does.
But also, they've all heard jokes before, and also everyone's in their own heads and they're thinking
Yeah.
about their jokes. So
Well,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
particular night, it was the first night we were running through our material.
It was.
Mostly everyone had left because it ran over to like, it was about 9:45 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was shattered. I was dying, and I was like, I just need to get up and do it. I go up and I do my jokes and I'm doing okay. They're not great. Obviously, it's the first time I've got on stage and done it. And I do this bit that I believe in to this day, but the way I did it was not good. And I hit the punchline and I just hear, oh, and I just go, no, alright, that's my time, see you later. And there's a music stand right there, and you know how small the stage is, and so I'm like, okay, I put the thing up, I try and leave, and I just bang into this music stand, and like you said, it just looks like I just go, boom, just file this.
Just went moody as fuck. Fuck yous, I hate this.
Love it when jokes are in running. I was always
And barely anyone knew me at the time because I was really quiet at the time, so it was so cringy. Like I can't, mate.
You can have a lot.
But then the next time I did it was the first time you saw us,
Yeah.
and it was, see, the last joke I did, the Viv was like, cut that. That was the joke, and it was a lot worse the time before. That time I'd switched it up at the end. I hadn't used such inflammatory language in the context of which it shouldn't be used. So I'd mixed it up. I'd kind of worked out how to do that better. And it didn't bomb. Didn't get the biggest laugh, but I don't think it would have in that room anyway.
Yeah, you've got to have the. I think one thing you realise is if you're doing stuff that is occasionally risky, is you have alternatives depending on the crowd. So I used to have a joke when I had the shaved head and the tracksuit, where I said I either look like the world's friendliest human trafficker or the world's meanest like cunt with that's going through chemotherapy or something like that. But then I did a gig at the Glasgow Comedy Festival earlier this year, and when I got there quite late and everyone was like quite old, like 40s, 50s, 60s.
Right.
So in my head I was like, most of these people have probably lost someone to cancer.
like
So I just changed it to alopecia. Things like that. So there's little things you can switch up
to read the room and respond.
Yeah, because I think that's
Clever
always,
devil.
yeah, because I did a gig up in Lossing after a charity gig, and I was doing this bit about why cocaine is better than fitness or everything actually. But I read the room and it was like, it's a military town, Lossiemouth, and they're just really not a drug kind of place. But then I was like, last minute, so just changed all the jokes to booze, and it worked really well. Because you get some crowds that do not like drug humour. The Burns have fucking hated my drug humour.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there's all an older kind of crowd.
Yeah,
again, see, I said fuck the Burns Health. In reality, I just really fucking bombed. It's been a year and I'm still there going, I just can't do it again. But also, realistically, I'm never going to get much worse than that unless I shit myself on stage.
It's very true. It's very, very true. That's the way to think of it. I think if you can compare any life endeavour to shitting yourself on a stage, everything feels alright. Until you shit yourself on a stage and then you're like, oh no, this is it.
Yeah.
We found it, the worst. This is the worst.
Sorry, I was trying to get see the like screen capture stuff we used for the Linville episode.
Yeah.
That's run out of his free trial. So I was like, fuck, I can't use that because I was going to be like, if we ever came up with a point of conversation, bring up something, we can watch something on the
Bro,
table.
download Bandicam.
Shout, keep on talking.
Actually, wait a minute. I need you to fucking, if you're closest, if you could dive up and check that Reaper is recording 3 separate tracks. Because I saw a reflection on that TV and it looked like they were all the same track.
Oh, that's
and it made me upset because I don't know whose fucking track
I'll
it
do
was.
a run round of them.
Can I just say, 'cause I don't know if the camera will see this, since I've last here, Chris and Fudgie have got the most high-tech system you have ever fucking seen for people starting a podcast. It's absolutely fucking wild. They really do have something from Battlestar Galactica here. This is such a big setup for your mum's living room.
It's never been glammed up so hard.
It's never been glammed up so fucking hard. She definitely thinks you're running like a dodgy OnlyFans kind of thing.
And what if I am? What if I am? What if I'm not?
I wish there was a camera on you right now, mate, because you look mental just claiming about
I know, I feel quite
like a methadone Spider-Man. See on the taxi here, by the way. What? Are we allowed to say where we are?
Generally,
Wherever we are, we're somewhere on the outskirts of Glasgow, and as I was getting the taxi here, I saw a woman outside the local shop, and she just had both of her tits out. But not in like a, ho-ho kind of way, as in they were just hanging out and she was just having a fag.
It's a bit nippy.
It's
just fucking decent. Oh, no, I didn't even fucking notice that.
Check those tracks.
As I checked them.
Are you sure? Because look, I'm making
That's
a
3
thing.
separate tracks.
Am I still coming through okay?
Huh? What are you seeing that I'm not?
Like,
Because that's 3 separate tracks.
and I can see 3 separate tracks, but for example, when I'm talking and I'm real close like that, you can't see any peak on that. Roger, if you could do the same.
Hello.
No peak. And yet, when I tap your one,
Oh, you.
I feel this is the part that's
Thank
going to
you.
be cut, so this is when we
Thank
get
you.
our risque stuff out the way.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
it's cool. It's alright. My eyes are so fucking sharp.
Yeah, very sharp, mate. You're a clever boy.
Down.
Uh,
So,
I can't believe what you've just told us,
Yeah, it's
That's
fucking
mad.
fantastic.
that is hilarious.
mate. My day, my day is made like in a big way right now.
He's so buzzing.
I'm so buzzing to meet him now.
That's so funny.
I was excited to. This Mikey, by the way, this is who we're talking about.
Mikey Motion is
Yeah.
coming on the podcast after me. They've got an actual proper comedian. I'm just the warm up while they fuck with the sound tech, but they did not know.
He just keeps the couch warm.
Basically, aye. But they did not know Mikey was the Burgos jacket guy, so they are fucking starstruck now.
It's so funny because how, like, from what I can recall, I just followed him on Instagram and he followed me back. And I was like, oh, cool. And then I reacted to one of his stories and he reacted and I was like, I'm in there. And I just ended up asking him to come on the podcast.
I like the way you go, I'm in there is kind of like a guy in high school. It's like, yeah, she liked my picture. I'm totally fucking in there.
Yeah, acknowledge my existence.
100%.
Love me.
That's I like to think I've changed much, but not really. It's just the genders have flipped. I'm still as desperate, mate.
In a different way.
Just in a different way.
Just better with dealing fucking put downs now. That's all.
Very slightly. It's very, very slightly.
It's ridiculous.
Sorry.
You're all good.
Talking absolute shite. So, you're about a year into doing comedy now.
Yes.
How you feeling? You've came since like starting out.
Oh.
You were build. You know.
I was my first ever set was all right for a first set, but there wasn't any like actual kind of links between things. It was very loose kind of parts and that. And then for a while I was doing different 5 minutes each time, and they were just dog shit. People were just it was a nice crowd, but I could tell it was bad. But just over time you gradually get better, and I now feel more comfortable on stage. I always still panic until I get on, and then I'm alright. But I think that's with a lot of people.
Yeah,
Is
and it shows you care.
Yeah, see if you go on with far too much confidence, you're going to crush it. A lot of the time, if you're very early on, like we are, that's probably not a good way to be. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just putting yourself up for a come down every single time.
Yeah, and the thing is, if the audience doesn't like it, I think you can blame the audience 5% of the time at most. But see if you go up 10 times and you bomb each time. And it's different audiences. You can't just go, that wasn't my audience. It wasn't my audience. It's like maybe you're the problem. You know what I mean?
1000%.
You know, we get a guy that's like, oh, all my girlfriends be mental. It's like, you're choosing them, mate. You know, it's kind of, you've got to take a level of responsibility.
No, you're absolutely right. No, definitely. The only time I've kind of struggled with a crowd was that just when it was really quiet. But I didn't bomb. It was quiet, so you don't really hear that's something I noticed. I went to see, Mark Norman.
Yes.
I went to see him at the Academy.
Relatively recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Doug Key was opening for him. I think he might be coming on the pod soon.
Nice.
Because I was in there again.
Love me.
Love me. No, nice guy. I met him afterwards, but Mark looked like he was struggling on stage, and that he felt like he was having a bad set.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's because you're a fucking mile away from the crowd.
Yeah.
So you're not hearing anything. And then I heard someone heckle, someone go, and then boo. And then he was like, fuck, I'll swiftly moving on to something else. And I was like, well, isn't it you, mate? And that boo wasn't for you. But
It just wasn't meant to be, buddy.
there's even like dynamics of the fucking venue.
Oh, mate,
Effects.
massively, yeah.
I know, it's a struggle, mate. And fucking musicians have it easy.
I did security at the old Arches a while back, where it's platform, when they do all the food trucks and that. They had a corporate event on, and they had a comedian. And the Arches is a fantastic place for live music, but the way it's set up, the like, see, unless you were like as far away as from I am to you, the echo of the place means you couldn't hear a thing, and it's such a shame. The comedian was absolutely fantastic, but yeah, like all those things are kind of factors.
Because I was pissed after ICW at the Hydro. Well, during it, I went to the toilet and I just see him and I was like, "Yeah, mate." Selfie, and he was so nice about it. I cringed like fuck after it, but I was like, I ran at my dad. I was like, "Look, I just met."
I'm really bad at meeting celebrities. I remember I was working in a bar and there was a DJ guy I know came in with one of the lassies from Dairy Girls.
Right, sure.
And I literally just went, "Oh, you're off the fucking telly." And she went, "Yes." And I went, "I'm really bad at meeting celebrities. I'm sorry." I was at a urinal next to Will from the In-Betweeners once, and I was trying to make awkward small talk while we were both holding our cocks.
Yes.
Out our respective cocks, not each other's.
Sadly.
Sadly.
The small talk's passed at that point.
Yeah, basically.
What was Briefcase, isn't he?
Briefcase, yes.
Yeah. My cousin is a spit ding of him, and we would call him Briefcase.
That's amazing.
To this day.
Well, the In-Betweeners is like one of the most kind of, it's really stood the test of time. Like I think it's the most accurate depiction of British humour there will ever fucking be.
I do love it.
So good.
I love it.
There's a great bit in it. I think it's the funniest fucking bit. There's a bit where Will gets like a fucking, he's got like a blazer and he ends up like falling in shit or something like that. So he puts his jacket in a bag.
Yeah.
And they're in the bar and he goes, no one brings a bag of shit to the pub. And then one guy goes, "Yeah, your dad does." "Who? Your mum." It's fantastic. It's so fucking good.
Here's a question. This is something I was interested in before. I forgot to ask you the first time that you didn't come round and we didn't record this and didn't fucking.
This is it going better than the first time. So you imagine how fucking chaotic it was.
Jesus, I know, man.
It wasn't okay.
I do apologise. I had not slept the night before, and
What's the excuse this time?
The ripple effect from the first time.
It's a ripple effect, and I got too much of a good sleep last night, I think, actually.
Yeah,
but
probably.
At least we had the setup all ready to go. I'm pretty sure when you came in, it was in living room mode.
Yes.
Yeah, the first time. So we're getting there. True. What was your question?
What were you gonna ask me?
Yeah. Fuck it. I almost forgot it. So see, prior to doing comedy, so it's obvious talking to you that you're a natural storyteller.
Okay.
Have you always been like that before comedy, or do you think that's been something that's been honed? It's definitely been honed, but has it been unlocked by comedy? You know?
I think it's one of those things of just the people that I kind of grew up with. It was a lot of kind of, I don't know, going out, getting drunk, doing drugs, getting in trouble with the police, things like that. So with those kind of guys, you'd end up, when you go to the pub and that, it was just comparing stories and things like that.
Yeah.
And mine always ended up being quite more dramatic than other people's. And then what actually was so the company that does, Ultra, that does the comedy thing that we all did, they do other things. So they do ballroom dancing, they do boxing.
Yeah.
So I was seeing my friend Callum boxing in Burness, doing it, and then we went to a house after, and we're all sitting there after fucking just cutting up lines going, "Oh mate, you're funny as fuck, I'm funny as fuck." Well, it started off with, "Mate, I'm gonna do that." It's like, "You can't take a punch," like, "I can't take a punch." What else? "They do comedy, you're funny as fuck, I'm funny as fuck." So we signed up. And then we forgot about it, and then we got the email, and we were like, fuck, no.
Committed now, motherfucker.
Yeah, but so the first few times I didn't really do stories as much, and then it didn't feel very natural. So then when I was talking to friends, when I tell them stories, they go, "You could try and make that into a bit." So I tried that a few times, and it kind of worked more for me. I can't do the one-liner kind of things. I just don't have the... I know it's a very difficult thing to do those kind of stuff. One-liner comedians that do very well. First, the memory you have to do like an hour of one-liner stuff is fucking unbelievable.
No, 100%.
Yeah, to have an itinerary of jokes just lined up.
Because that's a script. You've got like every word's very crucial, and you've got to remember everything by script. Well, my stuff, I'm just kind of rambling half the time. Yeah.
I went to see Jimmy Carr recently, and that was one of the things that I was like flabbergasted, to the point where he does it. Does a bit at the end where he's going through like texts, and I'm almost convinced that he's wrote half of them just so that he like can take some strain off himself. And if he has, what a fucking genius idea. Of course. I was sitting there being like, this is some fucking set, mate.
Oh fuck yeah.
No wonder you also took a break, and he
Yeah.
didn't have an opener in, and
Yeah.
it was it wasn't the most receptive crowd. It just, I don't know if it was a weird energy in the room,
Yeah.
but it was a great show. I enjoyed it.
He's incredible though. See the amount. I think he's one of the most active comedians in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I saw an interview ages ago, and he was talking about how often he actually performs because he loves it so much.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just constant. So he's an absolute master at it.
He seems to be one of the only like British comedians that has like at least the continued respect of all the American comics and stays over there and goes over and gets on all the podcasts over there and
Well,
all
I
that
think
stuff.
I think the way he did that though was he ended up, because he hosted 8 out of 10 Cats and 8 out of 10 Cats does Countdown. I think he first broke in with the in the roast battle, kind of, like not the roast battles, but like the roast of so and so and whatever, and that's how he kind of broke in. A lot of British humor doesn't translate well over.
It's true.
And I think that is a struggle people get. You also get that with American comics over in Scotland, where they'll have a lot of political stuff, or just the kind of humour just doesn't seem to translate as well.
No, I agree with that.
I just to add on to what you were saying there, I think it was he did the roast competition at the Toronto Comedy Festival, and
That just for laughs.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so, and that's how he ended up getting the reputation for being a brutal roaster, and everyone's like, "Oh fuck, bow down." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got the respect. For fuck's sakes, I hate this.
What's going on?
This fucking mic hang is fucked, and I need to swap it out for another one later on. But teething problems.
That's all right, mate. Just it's becoming an emotional thing at this point.
It's getting very emotional for me.
I had to click the intentions were up, and I was like, right, hold on.
That was actually fucked my next question. I was going to ask what like got you into comedy, and it turns out it was boxing and gear.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
The natural route, I call that.
But like growing up and stuff, how would like, because for me like comedy was always like, it was so how do I put it, like stealthy. Like I didn't really notice it because like music was so in your face. Fuck, I want to do that.
Yeah.
But with comedy, I was like, oh, that's cool. Never even considered it was something you could do. How was your relationship with like comedy and stand up, and particularly growing up?
Well, it started off really when I was in primary school. When Sky Plus first came out, I was trying to watch like all the kind of adult-rated stuff because you could record it. But like anything like fucking Pulp Fiction and the Pornhub, not Pornhub, the Babe Station Freeview, that was all fucking locked. And then I was recording South Park on Comedy Central, and there was something called the Comedy Store, which I recorded, and it just I kind of found it through that. But the problem with that was when I was like 9 years old, I was then my language. I never swore. Wee town, fucking very Christian parents and that.
Yeah.
And then suddenly just my language kind of changed and that. So I got a good 6 months to be able to watch stand up comedy before my dad's like, why is he saying bollocks so much?
That's so funny. What age are you now?
28.
28. So
Yeah.
like what to sort of, I'm terrible at math. What sort of time period would that have been?
I'll try to think. So yeah, that's what. So it took me about it took me a long time to start it. You know, the thing is, up north there wasn't really a comedy scene. There's a bit more now. Up in Inverness, there's a couple of nights emerging, some good comedians up there, but that wasn't really a thing. So it was one of these things that I kept putting off for ages and didn't know how to get into. And then the first time I actually did it wasn't the Ultra one. I went through to the Monkey Barrel in Edinburgh, and every second Monday they do one where you can put your name in, you go up that night, but you get your name pulled out of a hat. And I just went, didn't tell anyone about it, because that's also why I did it in Edinburgh. So if anyone, like, I was shit, which I kind of was, that people couldn't recognise me in the street.
Good idea.
Smart.
I would have mustache, just a big fucking fake one.
Yeah, but I'm quite distinctive looking anyway. Like, I'm very recognisable.
Crime free. That's the thing, you have to be.
Yeah.
You can't get a face tattoo and start doing crime. That's the wrong way to do things.
See, I did all my crime and then got the face tattoos, and I think I did that to kind of stop myself.
That's a clever move.
It's good, yeah.
Like positive reinforcement. I like it.
That's a good way to do shit.
Yeah, I'm so identifiable.
Extremely.
I remember
so.
I got yelled at by an ex-girlfriend when it was the masks things, when I was coming out for the subway once, and I had the mask on. She won't recognise me, but I was wearing a short-sleeve t-shirt, my head was shaved, and I'm entirely covered in tattoos. Well, this will be fine, and then she went, Roger! And I'm like, oh fuck, I had to run away, so...
Wait, my lips and mouth.
Yeah. So this bit's covered, but everything else, you know.
That's so funny. So you've been doing it a year. Have you done any stand-up, like, outside of Scotland, or?
Not yet. I'm going to be doing Amsterdam in January, which I'm looking forward to. I think that'll be really fun. I actually met a nice American stand-up during the Fringe. We were both on an Irish guy show, and we were chatting away. And now she lives in Amsterdam, and she started running like English-speaking nights over there. Great. So she was like, "I think you do really well over there." So I'm quite excited for that.
That sounds really fun.
Yeah. Also, Amsterdam's just a great city.
I
also,
love it.
It'll be good to go and actually do something other than drugs and prostitutes.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm not going to do drugs and prostitutes over there, but it's good to know that's not the main reason.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Well, I went across to Amsterdam with my missus, my best mate, and a few other friends. And me and my best mate just wanted to try all the things. We were just there for all the fun now.
Oh, yeah.
And whereas my missus and her pals and that wanted to kind of go and see some of the places
and
nearby.
Frank's house and stuff like that.
And we were like, do you know what? We'll meet you in the middle. We'll do everything and that.
Yeah.
So we did that. But we ended up going up to like Edam, which is the place that started the fucking cheese. You know,
okay.
And it's
I didn't leave the red light district really, so I'm unaware there's anything outside of that.
there's one street. So you know,
so this is fucking brilliant.
Zand van Voortzee, I think it is, beach, amazing. Zandam, go there. They have little bridges. They're nice. There you go.
I'll be doing that.
That's your rundown of Amsterdam.
Yeah.
There's windmills.
Yeah,
there are.
I'm trying to think the first time. So I've been 3 times to Amsterdam. First time I went, I was 16. And I'd been smoking weed for 3 months, and I was one of these dickhead little skinny white guys that thought he was Bob Marley. Like I had the T-shirt with Bob Marley, had like the Skull Candy headphones with Rasta colours, and I went 3 months into smoking, and it was terrible fucking weed in the Highlands. So 45 minutes in the country, I go to the first coffee shop, which isn't one of the coffee shops you go to as a tourist.
Oh.
So I walked in. So I'm really skinny. I look about 16. I'm with my mate Gavin, who is very small Asian. He looks 12. We go into this little coffee shop, and everyone is just like a 6'4", big, like 40-year-old black Jamaican dude.
Oh, yes.
And they all just kind of look at you like you have definitely walked into the wrong place.
So whoops.
Or the right place.
Yeah, or the right place. They didn't think it was the right place.
Oh, no.
So I walk up to the counter, and the guy looks at me and goes, like, ID. And I give him the fakest ID you've ever seen. It was like international driver's permit, which I don't know if that's a real thing. My name was Robert McDonald. Don't know why I didn't use my real name. And it was so shit. I remember he picked up and he looked at it and he looked at me. And like, he looked at me like I gave him a bit of paper with like a drawing of like crayons. Like, I am 18. And that I can't believe you've actually just handed me this. And he put it down. He slid it towards me and he gave me the menu. And I couldn't roll. And the only tip I got about Amsterdam was it goes with pre-roll, it goes weakest to strongest. So I remember going, I won't go too crazy, I'll go one below the middle, which is better than anything I've ever had in my life. And I got one of those like small baseball bat size pre-rolls, the cone kind of things. Yeah. So I sit down in the middle and light it up.
Watch this, boys.
Yeah. And I'm trying to show off to these guys that do not give a fuck.
Nope.
So I'm smashing away at this thing. That show Pawn Stars is on the telly.
Yeah.
And I hear one going, stupid Americans. I'm Americans are idiots. Smoking it. And then I smoke about half of it in about 2 minutes, just constantly. And then I put it down and I just feel what's left of my colour, because I'm a very pale man, just drain. And I'm like, oh no. And I look and I see there's a toilet in the corner in a separate room, not just in the... It wasn't that rough.
A weighty toilet.
This happens all the time, kid.
I remember looking at it and in my head going, it's fine, you're going to chill, you're going to stand up, you go to the toilet, you're going to shut the door, you're going to sit on the toilet for a minute, you get a splash of water on your face, you'll be good. Went through it 3 times in my head.
Yeah.
Brand new. Stood up. Passed out immediately.
Amazing.
Just out, fainted. Now, the rest of the story was told by my friend. So what I did is I collapsed into a wall and knocked down maybe about 20 framed photos. Just everything went down. 3 of the biggest men you've ever seen in your life grabbed me, picked me up, sort of carried me with my feet, not hitting the ground. My mate thinks Taken is happening. So my tiny little mate Gavin, little Asian guy's going, get off him, but they don't even fucking notice him. I wake up just lying on the steps of this place, not knowing what happened, and then Rasta dude with the big fucking the big hat thing came out and gave me sugar cubes, and we sat for ages looking at it, and he goes, what is it? I went, it looks like sugar cubes, but a black guy in Amsterdam gave it to me.
I'm scared, man.
So we're trying to half it in case it's acid. It definitely wasn't. They would just like make sure that
they
the guy
were trying to
die.
check you out and make sure you're doing right.
Yeah, and that's 1 hour after landing in the country, so we're all way better from there. Yeah. It's a fantastic city, but it's one of these ones where people in the Netherlands don't like British people, and I totally fucking get it.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
the
Because-
European genuine sort of like.
Because we are knobs.
Aye.
We are
Generally
massive
speaking,
pricks.
sure.
Ian Stirling does a bit of it as he says like everyone loves Scottish people, but it's just because we don't do good in international football.
So there's not ever enough of us to go over.
So he essentially does this bit where he's like,
That's a
sitting-
very good point.
I'm going to butcher the bit. I'm not going to try and do the bit, but kind of what he does is he talks about how he's sitting there like, oh, you're Scottish, yeah, fuck the English, all this shit. And they're like giving them drinks, and then you get pissed and start writing the place, and you're like, see, we're as bad as him. We just don't do well in international football. And it's like brilliant. That's class. It's so fun. It's so fucking true as well, because the amount of times where you like see like Rangers or Celtic are playing over in Europe somewhere, and it's just all us lot over there being fucking wankers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like
It's an ugly version of
shameful,
us.
Shameful.
I do remember.
It's like a shit version of fucking colonisation and like Vikings and
It's
shit.
true.
It's the worst version of it.
We'll come over and we'll drink the tenants. Like, oh
and
no.
slightly do a bit of breach of the peace and a somewhat vandalism.
I know.
Yeah.
We'll raise our fists. We'll leave, but we'll raise our fists.
I remember last time I went to Amsterdam, this is almost 10 years ago, I almost got stabbed actually. So we were at a music festival called DEFCON, which is a hardstyle music festival.
Yep.
And we had one night in Amsterdam after. And the way it works in Amsterdam is, the way people try and sell you drugs is people will walk past you and subtly just go like, cocaine, cocaine. And they'll walk past and they'll see if you notice. And if you
Whispering.
do, yeah, like it's really weird. It's like Chinese whispers. Cocaine, cocaine.
Cocaine?
What we realised, we had one night in Amsterdam, I think it was like a Monday night, is what they'll do is they'll give you a wee bump of really good coke and then they'll sell you shit coke. We went, this is genius because there's so many people selling, so there's 4 of us. So we spend the whole night just drinking, going to the hookers, and every single time we get one of these guys, we all have a bump of the coke, take the number for later. But after a while, drug dealers begin to talk.
Yeah.
And it's a Monday and it's very quiet. It's like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. And obviously they've gone, there's a group of Scottish guys taking the fucking piss here.
The fleecing us.
Yeah, so we're eating, so me and my mate, that I'm not going to name because he has a respectable job now. Nickname, Pasty, there we go. Called you it, mate. We're sitting back and we're just scranning magic mushrooms because we're hungry because we're stoned, but we forgot it was magic mushrooms. We're just eating something that we had in the bag, which is a lot of mushrooms.
Oh no.
Yeah, and our 2 mates, our 2 mates were over talking to the two drug dealer guys, and then there was 3 drug dealer guys, then there was 4, then there was 5, and we're trying not to yell like we're panicked, so we're like, boys. Boys, turn round. And eventually they look round, and the Dutch are the tallest people in the world, and all me and my mates were like 5'8" to 5'10", and they're just surrounded by all these 6'5" giant dudes.
God.
And they eventually click, so they start walking towards us, like my mates, and the drug dealers follow. And then we run, and we start running like fuck, and we turn round, and 2 of them have got big fucking knives.
Oh, good.
And we're like, oh shit. And I've eaten so many magic mushrooms at this point. Like, I've eaten maybe 4 people's worth. So we're sprinting and we're trying to get down all the alleys and that. And we end up having to go into like a brothel bit. Mm-hmm. And it was really scary because we were also very high on shrooms. And it was really narrow, like hallway, really long. It was kind of like The Shining.
Oh,
and there was just a prostitute right at the end. And she was like, come. And then, but we
Just doing our job.
Yeah,
Just
we're
doing
like,
our job.
we need to hide. And we need to pay, so we then end up all having to pay €100 to each of these hookers, so we could go into the room with them, but not sleep with them, just hide out.
Is this fucking Aladdin or some shit? What's going on?
We were just so scared. So she was like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "Please don't talk to me." Her face was just like that swirls and stuff, and I'm like, "Oh no."
I'm not in the place right now, my darling.
So we get out, and we're trying to get our way back to the hotel. And we see 2 rickshaws, the guys on the bikes.
Yeah.
We get 2 on each, we both jump on, and we see the guys that go, and the guy can't speak Dutch, so that's what they do. And they're about 30 foot away, and they start running towards us. So we go, get us away fast as possible. And both guys go, €50. So we give them €50 each, and they start racing each other, and we go away. And I remember just being maybe about that close away, and the knife swinging, and oh yeah, it was scary.
That's a movie, mate.
It was good.
It's also a bit.
Yeah. We then got back to the hotel, and we had one of the guy's numbers, a guy called Mo, and we were all out our minds on coke and ecstasy and shrooms, and we kept calling him up, trying to do the Bart Simpson, it's like,
Oh yeah.
his ass there, first name huge, and he's like, "We'll kill you, Scottish fuckers." But the worst part of that was it wasn't even a hotel, it was a hostel, but we got it last minute, and we couldn't find anywhere, and we paid for the hostel, and we went in, and it was like maybe 12 beds. Every other person, it was full apart from us. It was Muslim women's in full burqas.
Oh,
So we were tripping out our minds.
brother.
And we went in, and because my mate didn't click, and he was sitting there, like, "Mate, I can't be here." Why? It's like fucking ninjas everywhere. So I've not been back to Amsterdam since. He didn't even mean it in a racist way. He was just that high, and what you didn't need is a bunch of is like 8 other people. You can just see the eyes just staring at you while you're tripping. He just got in the cupboard. He just went like that, and I was just like, "Drew," and he was like, "No,
no, Drew gone. Fuck off.
He's really gonna hate that story. There you go, Drew. Drew, he's the one that always wanted not to be considered dodgy, because the rest of us didn't really care.
Yeah.
So every chance I get to make Drew sound dodgy. So shout out to Dodgy Drew.
Dodgy Drew. Like Dodgy Drew.
He has a good job now, and he's really trying to make himself respectable. So I hope he doesn't hear this, because he's gonna fucking hate me. But yeah, so Amsterdam's going to be fun.
Amsterdam sounds like it'll be great. Let's hope the criminal enterprises have had some changes of hands since.
Yeah.
You get off the plane, he's just fucking stood there, bro.
Hello, Roger.
Is that Mo from The Simpsons? But no, I'm looking. I'd like to travel a wee bit more. Like try other countries and that. So I actually posted on Reddit a wee while ago. I was talking to other comedians and that. So I made a friend over in LA who's going to come over, and she's going to do some shows over here, and she said she's going to put me up over there. So
that's amazing.
Awesome.
Man.
It's just nice to be able to kind of travel and that. Yeah, I know a few comedians that have they'll just go on holiday and they'll just do sets wherever you can.
Yeah.
So it's
I like the idea of that. Yeah.
It's quite nice as a fact that you can go on holiday, and absolutely almost anywhere you go, you can find an open spot, and a lot of the time they're just happy to have someone that's from another country. So
Something different. Yeah.
it's quite nice. It's like a little kind of community within itself. So yeah,
That's awesome.
I
I
don't
didn't ever consider that.
There's not many other things I think that emulate that. I mean, music for sure. You can always play a gig or something, but you're going to bring an instrument everywhere you go.
Yeah. You don't
like-
need to bring anything with comedy. That's the thing. It's one of these things you can kind of rock up and do your own kind of
just need
thing,
this.
which is
And you can make it happen. I think it's beautiful. So like, you can say the same with singing and stuff like that. But again, I don't feel like the community's there for that.
Yeah.
So the second that as long as you speak the same language,
Yeah.
you're gonna get someone.
I really hope it is an English speaking night I'm doing. 'Cause I can't. I was trying to learn Dutch for a while, and I only know the sentence now. De jongen hebben de boterham, which means the boy has a sandwich. Which I don't know how useful that is. Just me sprinting into Subways.
The boy has a sandwich.
The boy has a sandwich.
Like,
Fucking Scottish people.
Why is
I can't do a Dutch accent.
give him a
otherwise-
fucking sandwich.
Why is that the sandwich?
I don't
Why
know
is
why.
that the sandwich as a sentence?
I don't know why. Just because Duolingo teaches you really strange things, and that's the only thing that kind of that kind of stuck. Yeah.
Why is that so funny? I'm really easily amused by real chat. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think people that can. We were talking beforehand about a couple of comedians in Scotland that actually do it in it must be so difficult to do stand up in a language you don't know, because we've all had tough times doing it, and we actually speak the fucking language.
Yeah.
I saw Paul Black did he went over to France. And did this.
I think it was his brother,
What's his name? again?
Mark.
Mark, yeah.
I believe it's Mark. Sorry, Mark. I've met Mark
That's
good
not
for
bad.
times. If I fucked up your name, I'm so sorry.
No, it is.
But he did it. Mate, he did it in French, man. That's fucking
I
incredible.
saw a couple
man.
of clips. I was like, I don't know what you're saying, but it sounds right.
That's
Yeah.
like some Eddie Izzard shit right there. Is that guy used to do in the like grand-mère and some flambe. Like he used to talk about his grandmother being on fire and shit like that. The entire set. in French, and he could do the whole damn thing.
You did a bit in a different language in your first set that I saw. Yeah,
pigeon French though.
but you still did it. That was that was quite impressive.
I appreciate that.
Hit us with a bit of French.
I only have what I've said.
Say it.
J'ai fait de la connaissance sur le beaucoup de bois de vin ce soir. I hope that means what I think it means.
See, us
That might have been a racial slur in French. Actually,
us like
well,
me and
one
you-
viewer in France is furious.
Le Blanche Bouton gave
one view on
the
France
Grand Glaxon.
in my bird. I do, but that's not right.
That's not correct.
It's not what you're dating, Chris. You fucked it again.
You know what? It's not my fucking job, right?
There was a French guy. A French guy was trying to get in the club the other night. He got kicked out, and one of our bouncers speaks French.
Oh, that's good.
And they
Useful.
had a 15-minute conversation, and he was really annoyed. He wouldn't go away, but they were speaking in French. He came over to me, and I was getting really wound up because he kept trying to get in, and I don't know almost any French. So I just went, "Oh, mate, fuck off to the bibliothèque," which is the library. John turned his friend. He went, "This man has told me to fuck off to the library."
Is he inferring that I'm not well read?
But I said it with such anger, the French bouncer started laughing. He's like, "What?" And I'm like, "I don't fucking know."
That's all I've got, right? That's all I've got.
It sounds way cool. The bibliothèque sounds
Bibliothèque.
way cooler than the library.
That's my part on it.
It's like a reading
100%.
disco.
You son
I
are
think
not
that-
well read.
That's how the government should like try and get the youth of today back into reading. Let's open up bibliothèques
Ah, mate, you've
and
only got-
have like do the clip from Community of Abed and Troy going singing the fucking is it Spanish or French? French. Is it Spanish or biblioteca? Is what they say biblioteca or something like that.
Is that Spanish?
Have you ever watched Community?
I know of it. I've not actually probably seen
You
it.
watch it. It's like the best sitcom because it's just a sitcom taking the pisses of sitcoms.
Aye.
It's so good. Oh, so good. I won't talk about it, but you need to watch it.
I think one of my favorite things is in German, where you have
It's not what you're gonna think it is.
It's
It's
definitely
not.
this
It's
time.
not. It's not the German. It's not the famous Austrian man that you were thinking of that he's gonna quote.
It's not. He probably did say this
Hopefully.
a few times.
What are you gonna say?
So the word for hospital is Krankenhaus,
Krankenhaus.
right?
I'm pretty sure that was the brothel I was hiding in.
It might be the hospital, bro. The nurses might have just placed you so hard. For 50.
These are very accurate nurse outfits you're wearing.
Like, shut the fuck up, lie down, stay away from the tubing.
It's all wild scrubs.
And the name for an ambulance is a Krankenwagen. It's fucking gold.
That's great.
Man.
That's it's a beautiful language.
It's
It
like,
really
imagine having
is.
the hospital wagon was the name for an ambulance. I would hurt myself so often just to get to riding those things. Going in a hospital wagon, lads. Don't worry about it. Krankenwagen.
I for some reason I feel mainland Europe I don't think find us funny as much. Like they've got a very different sense of humour.
Yeah.
What is their sense of humor? Because I've always seen like I think it was Troy Bond had a German heckler, and he was like, "Oh, the German woman doesn't find the Nazi jokes funny." He starts taking the piss out of like German. It was like, "What's a German knock joke?" And it's like, "Knock knock, who's there? Let me in, follow orders." Like what, something like that. It's like, what is like mainland Europe's like sense of humor?
Well-
Like if you know.
Well, so I went on a date with a Finnish girl once, and it was great. So we went out, and it was one of those kind of dates where you gradually. This is my dating tip: take them to a nice place, and then as they get drunker, take them to shittier, cheaper places. So we started off in a really nice wine bar and ended up in the garage. And her English was quite broken. And when we went back to hers, we slept together. And just after we were lying there, and I just went, "Oh fuck, I didn't use a condom. Are you on like birth control?" And she went, "Yes, but I have AIDS." I went, "Okay, good night." And I went, "I'm sorry, what did you say?" She went, "I have AIDS." And I went, "I think there might be maybe a translation issue here." And she didn't talk. She went, "I have the HIV virus."
God damn it, you specific bitch.
And I just remember going,
Oh no.
and I was like, "Roger, it's going to happen at some point." And I was just really silent for a minute. And I felt myself well up. And then in fucking perfect English, she went, "I'm joking, you dick." Not only was she winding me up, she could speak perfect English the entire time. 4 hours she just put on the Finnish can't really speak the language.
Fuck it, they've got a better sense of humour than us.
Yeah,
That's
no,
amazing.
Polish that right
That
off,
is
man.
that is people that have been tortured.
Yeah.
Senses of humour.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's generational
That's
trauma.
social repression coming out in a fucking one-liner, man.
That's what happens when your continent was the home of World War II.
yeah, the fucking epicenter.
Oh, she really got me with that one.
What a fucking inconsiderate human being.
Fucking better have been good sex if that was the fucking whole thing.
She was fucking great. If she had AIDS, I probably would have gone with it.
I would have been fuck it, I'm here now, right?
roll the dice every now and again, man.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what it is.
Roll the AIDS dice.
Roll the AIDS dice.
Welcome to the AIDS Dice podcast. In all fairness, half of my stories are just generally about bad dates.
Yeah.
But a lot of them I do have to sense, like, because I tried to do one on stage where I went on a date once. A lot of these are just really bad dating stories, actually. Merch.
Soon merch.
No, so I tried this story in Paisley of all places because it's to do with heroin and it didn't land, which is confusing. But I went on a date once with a lassie, alright? I went to a coffee shop, nice little bakery in the West End, and she was quite quiet and I was making a lot of conversation, and I said to her, I was like, "Are you alright? You don't seem to be very chatty." She went, "Oh, I was a wee bit anxious before this, so to calm myself down I did a bit of heroin." And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Oh no, I've gone into heroin in the last few months." So. And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Like it's a book.
Yeah, yeah. She was like, "Oh, it was excellent." Yeah, season 1 of it, where I was just tooting it, and you know,
Season 8. That gets a bit heavy.
yeah. The worst thing, I didn't end the date. We sat for a good while. All went really well. Went back to her to watch a movie, and then she pulled out a needle and she went, "Will you help me shoot up for the first time?" And I left.
Yeah.
Um,
That's the appropriate response.
it is.
That was not the needle you were wanting to be using.
It was not. Mine is about the size of a needle.
This is not the penetration that I had in mind.
He's German again.
I'm about to say, the last time I was on here, I did too many accents that were just done so badly they came across as racist. So I purposely tried not to do accents, but Chris has taken the racist crown from me here.
Mm. And he's done it well.
He
Thank
has
you.
done it well.
Appreciate it.
It,
Try my best.
looks great on you.
Thanks, man.
Like a swastika on Adolf.
Just works.
That will be cut from the...
No, it won't, because it looks good on only him.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
At least it's appropriate.
I like we're just going to edit this down eventually. Who does the editing?
Me.
Is it just you? We're just going to edit this down to Chris looking absolutely fucking terrible.
Oh, that would be
probably
clipped.
easily done.
That would be clipped.
Most of it, you'll just see me staring off into space and dissociating for like a minute, then coming back being like, yes.
Yes.
It's so funny because in Paul Sweeney's episode, I was at the room when I hit record, or you hit record, and all you can hear is just Paul going, "Fudgie, you're a fucking prick. Fudgie, when you're editing this later, you're a fucking prick." I was starting to edit, and I was like, "Facts, absolute facts."
Maybe that could be your intro.
It could be.
You know, just like, you know, "Hi, I'm Roger Gunn, and Fudgie is a prick. Hi, I'm Paul, and I'm Mikey Motion, and Fudgie is an absolute arsehole."
that could be
An
how.
absolute stonking retort every time.
Aye, before the theme
Oh,
music bumps in, or the one of the two theme musics, because I can't pick between.
it'd be so much better when it's not even comedians doing it.
I'm Tracy from the Bookies, and Fudgie is a prick.
Alright, I'm Amanda for McDonald's. Fudgie's a prick.
I'm Fudgie's mum. I don't trust him around kids.
Welcome to the Fudgie is a Paedophile podcast.
Always on before 9 p.m. Roger, it has been
I'm
a
debating
fucking
if I'm
pleasure,
gonna edit
mate.
that.
Jesus Christ, as
Aye,
always.
before we fucking finish it on that high.
This is
note,
what we're finishing on. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
we're gonna.
Come on.
'Cause we need to change over and I need this fucking smoke after that. Is there any you want to punch? Obviously, going to Amsterdam. This will be going out next. So today is the 28th. Fucking add 14. December. So in December plus, you want to promote?
I like how much you fucked up. You're like the worst kind of autistic. You're not
the best kind of autistic.
No,
You
fuck
said
you.
the word 14 and thought that you knew what you were doing there.
like you're not like the Rain Man kind of autistic. You're the one that can't touch particular like materials. It's like, I can't touch velvet.
When people scrape their shoes, it makes me like
Yeah.
a breakdown.
Like you're in a restaurant and someone like kind of like you hear the ching of the fork on their teeth and you start crying.
I could kill somebody.
Welcome to the Fudgie has discovered he has autism podcast.
Like sensory fudgy.
That's so fucking sad.
We have
Why
to
did I do music?
Why do you do podcasting, mate, to be honest?
Love you, Tism.
Oh,
Is that what we're signing off on? Love you, Tism?
Yeah, well, and whatever you want to promote on punt.
In punt, I am. It's 40 a gram. We'll do deals on cues. I have nothing coming up to plug.
I was wondering.
I genuinely don't have anything to plug. I'm a very low level comedian, okay? I don't know how they've got me on this podcast, to be honest. I think I'm just basically a really long kind of test run. This is the last one we spent so long on and it didn't get released. And I feel, and they've got new equipment. I feel what's actually happening is they get new equipment and we'll tell Roger that he's on the podcast. So he can come up and do a wee test run.
it's like giving your wee brother the Mad Catz controller.
It's like the world's shittest, like, what was it, Make-A-Wish kid. Yeah, it's like, well, we'll tell him he's on a podcast. This is like, it's like the world's worst Jim will fix it. I prefer Jim will fix it. I prefer to get touched but actually be, on the telly.
You're still going to get touched.
Right,
I'm still going to get touched.
right, I think with that, we should probably...
Thank you very much, guys. Much appreciated for
Thank
coming
you
on.
so much for coming on.
Next
Cheers.
week. Thank you for coming on, mate. Appreciate it.
Oh, fuck me.
That was good. I had really fun there, guys. I think that went really well.
I agree.
Thank you so much.